Hello everyone, today we'll be learning about file and record management. Under this topic, we'll be looking at definitions of important terminologies, objectives of files and records management, general strategies and procedures, standardized file cover, filing system, advantages of filing systems, allotment of file numbers, opening and closing of files, removal of letters from the file, and storage of files. Definitions of important terminologies. Records are any information, regardless of physical form or characteristics, which originate from or are received by an organization within the framework of its official activities. Records management relates to the creation, use, and maintenance of current records in a systematic manner. Archiving deals with the preservation and maintenance of non-current records on a temporary or permanent basis in accordance with an established retention schedule. Retention schedule refers to the time limit to hold the records. Files contain records originating from or received by the organization in written, audio, video, electronic, and all other forms. The object of proper files management is to be able to find the record officials need quickly and economically, regardless of its formats. To standardize the filing system. This is done to make filing system uniform among various government agencies, for that matter any office, for efficient management. When an organization has standardized filing system, it improves the documentation, thus facilitating a sound information system for efficient management. To ensure proper maintenance, storage, and archiving of records. This reduces the likelihood of misfiling or losing records and improving the retrieval of information easier and faster. Expedite decision making and correspondence. Let's say the person in charge of making decision requires an information on the matter. They can easily get access to the information, making the decision making faster. Similarly, they do not have to do the entire process of writing, filing, and sending off the mails or any other activities related to the matter, as there are other people assigned to do the job. Protects important records of an organization. Proper file and record management will ensure that no important and/or office secret out of the organization or prevent the untimely and unwarranted flow of information outside the agency. Promote individual and collective responsibility and accountability within the civil service. That is, when people have their roles and responsibilities assigned, they may become more reliable and do their part well as an individual and as a group. This will also have a cumulative effect in the long run, thereby benefiting everyone. To economize the government operation. When an organization has a uniform method of categorization, maintenance, and storage system in place, filing and retrieval of information becomes easier and faster, thereby saving time or spending less time on those activities, which in turn also saves cost or money. For example, office space can be used effectively, which will mean that organizations do not have to invest in creating new spaces for storage. There is less chances of losing important records and the cost of their retrieval accordingly. General strategies and procedures. Classification, receipt of mail, registration of mail, maintenance of register, distribution of mail, time limit for disposal, dispatch of letters, assigning of numbers to letters, maintaining a chronofile, and maintaining a master file. Classification. All incoming and outgoing correspondence shall be classified as confidential, important and valuable, and routine. If the correspondence is classified as confidential, then the mail is unopened and passed by the registry unit to the addressee. It is important for the senders to label the envelopes appropriately or write the name and address of the receiver correctly. Correspondence may be filed in the classified file or filed in the regular files. Personal correspondence may be copied to the addressee's personal file as well. If it is classified as important and valuable, then they will have to be protected accordingly. If they are classified as routine or regular letters, then the letters or the mail is opened by the registry unit, then passed or distributed to the addressee to whom it was sent to, and ultimately filed by the filing unit according to the appropriate filing codes. For outgoing mails, if it is classified as confidential or personal attention, will be determined by the sender. If the content of the mail should remain between the sender and the receiver only, or if it is okay to be out there for anyone to find. Receipt of mail. All incoming official mails shall be received by the diarist or receptionist. All mails are subsequently recorded in the register. Mail classified as urgent or immediate may be received at the residences of the officers during holiday and after normal office hours. The receipt of all mail shall be acknowledged by the receiver by writing their names and signing in the messenger book. Registrations of mails. Top secret or confidential letters and those addressed by name shall be handed unopened. All other letters shall be opened by the diarist, who shall also check the enclosures and record the missing ones if any. These letters shall be registered in the register. Mails classified as urgent or immediate shall be registered on priority basis. Register entry. Normally, only one register is used by an organization. The register is maintained on a yearly basis, usually financial year-wise. However, some offices may maintain it as per the annual calendar and some on a financial year-wise, tailoring to their needs or conveniences. At the end of each year, regardless of its nature, the register is closed. For example, if the register is opened in the beginning of January 2020, then it is closed at the end of December 2020. Similarly, if the register is opened in 1st July 2020, then it is closed on 30th of June 2021 at the end of the financial year. The entries in the register must be closed every day. That is, it will start at 9 a.m. for most of the offices and then it should be closed by 5 p.m. The dates should be clearly written at the top of the page, commencing the entry every day. This is an example of register entry. So here we have the serial number, which should always start from 1. Then we have the date of the receipt, which is on the 7th of April 2020. The reference number of the letter. This will be provided by the sender. From whom it was received. It was received from Pema Jamso, the planning officer, let's say of RUB. The purpose was for reappropriation of budget. It was distributed to the finance officer of CNR. Thus, it has to be signed by the finance officer with the date, acknowledging that he has received the letter. Distribution of mail. After the letters are received, the designated personnel mark the letters to various divisions such as administrative, finance, or head of the departments. These marked letters are entered in the register. Further distribution among units may be made by divisional heads. For example, a letter is for Ms. Tashi under the Department of Agriculture. Then the head of the department may give it to her. Mail shall be submitted to head of agency for decision along with concerned files. Some mails may require the endorsement and or acknowledgement of the head. Time limit for disposal. All mails should be replied within 5 working days. An interim reply should be sent if delayed beyond stipulated period. Let's say you are out of the office or station for a week and during this period you received an email but you cannot properly respond until you get back to the office. In such situations, you will have a temporary reply stating your situation or when you will be able to go through the email. It is much easier on electronics as you can have a system-generated reply. Dispatch of letters. Just as a mail entry register is maintained, a register for all the outgoing letter or document is also kept, which is known as dispatch register. The dispatch register shall be maintained on a yearly basis as mentioned in the register entry. The serial number in the dispatch register, which is also the dispatch number given on the outgoing letter, shall begin from 1. A confidential or top secret letter should be dispatched with appropriate measures. Copies of the confidential letters should not be kept in the master file, which we will look at later. The ATM officer shall supervise the work of the dispatcher, diarist, and the messengers. The dispatcher shall also maintain proper accounts of the expenditures incurred. The office copies of letters shall be handed over to the concerned divisional, sector, or unit head at the end of every day. This is an example of dispatch register, and here we have a similar design to the register entry. You have the serial number, the date, to whom it was sent, place, from where it was sent from, the subject, file number, and the cost of postage if any. Assigning of numbers to letter. The outgoing letters shall bear numbers which would facilitate easy reference. The letter numbers shall be assigned as department, location, division, file, year, and dispatch number. Example: CNR/TRG/02/2019-2020/4444. Here the CNR refers to the location, TRG02 refers to the file series, and 2019-2020 refers to the financial year. The number in red is the dispatch number. It is always handwritten since it has to be entered into dispatch register before assigning the number to the letter. This is usually the serial number. Chronofile. A chronological filing system is created and monitored on a daily basis. Folders are arranged by sequential date order. All outgoing letters shall have a chronofile copy. The folder shall be maintained by the dispatcher. Master file. A master copy of all outgoing letter is maintained in the master file. Here a copy or duplicate of all outgoing letters from the chronofile is maintained in a folder or file, just in case a misfiling or the letter is lost. Then it can be accessed from the master file. Basically, it functions as a backup storage of letters. This is also maintained by the dispatcher. Standardized file cover. All government agencies shall use standardized and uniform file covers. The file cover shall indicate the following: Royal Government of Bhutan, file number and volume, subject, opening date and closing date, number of pages. Filing system, centralized. Centralized filing system places all records in one central location in an office. For example, the files we have in the dispatch office. It is useful when majority of the employees require to access the files, and it is suitable for small organizations. Decentralized filing system physically locates records in different places within an office. For example, the files maintained by the individual employees. It is useful when only one individual requires access to the specific record. It is suitable for larger organizations. However, it is possible for an office to have both centralized and decentralized filing system, which is practiced in CNR. Advantages of filing systems. In a centralized file system, there is a greater control over the files since it is kept in one place. Uniformity and consistency are easier to maintain because all important information is located in central or common location, which makes accessing of the files easier by all the employees. The need for duplicate files is eliminated, or the individuals may not have to maintain a copy of the records in their respective offices as well. Storage of records require less equipment and space. In a decentralized file system, since the files are maintained by individuals, there is less chance of folders being misfiled into the wrong record series, and even if it is misfiled, it is easier for the individual to sort it out. As the records are unavailable or have limited access by other employees, it leads to greater security and confidentiality. The records are physically located closer to the primary user. It becomes easier to maintain and use. Allotment of file numbers. The two-digit number after the letters shall indicate the subject. The year in which the file is being operated shall be indicated by the last two digits of the year. For example, if it is special files, then it is abbreviated as SPF. The two numbers 01 after the letters SPF indicate the subject Royal Commands is also the series number. Similarly, the number 02 after the SPF indicates the subject Monastic Correspondence. Another example is planning files, which is abbreviated as PLG. PLG01 refers to 5-year plan and PLG02 refers to Project 8 programs. Similarly, general administration is abbreviated as ADM. So ADM01 refers to the documents related to staff. ADM02 refers to the documents related to budget. Here is an example with an image to show the allotment of file numbers. This is generally how an office or an agency would number their files. This is an example from CNR. Here the file number as mentioned starts with CNR being the location or organization, followed by the subject of the file, which is PER02. Again, PER refers to the personal file and O2 denotes the series, which was started in 2010 to maintain the paperwork regarding the seminars, workshop, and more as written on the file cover. Opening and closing of files. Files shall be opened only by the administration. The subject of new file should be clear and not a duplication. The files shall normally be closed at the end of each financial year or annual year calendar, depending on which one the office is using. The capacity of a file shall be approximately 150 pages, after which the file shall be closed. This is an example of opening a new file with the same subject, but the volume will be different. Here we have CNR, which is the agency or the location. It is under the ADM section and the file series is 04, or the subject is College Transformation Plan. The current volume is volume number 6. The year in which it was opened is 2010. Removal of letters from the file. Ordinarily, no paper should be removed from a file. If for reference or record, a letter from the file is required by anybody, only an attested copy shall be provided or a verified copy shall be provided. Should it be essentially required to remove the original letter, a copy should be made and kept in the file. It should be clearly recorded to whom the original file has been submitted and when. Removal of the original paper shall be made only by the officer in charge, and they shall endorse a record to whom the original paper has been submitted. Storage of file. In a centralized system, all current files, except those classified as top secret and confidential, shall be under the custody of the in charge of administration or the administration officer. The top secret and confidential files shall be kept under the personal custody of the head of the agency. In a decentralized system, the files shall be under the custody of the division heads.